that? Why do they choose? Why do you have to choose?
Because we've been financially misinformed. According to one of our mentors, Grant Cardone, people are financially misinformed. According to Robert Kiyosaki, number one, our first priority is to get a secure, high-paying job. Number two is to pay our mortgages and car payments. Number three is to pay our bills on time. And number four is to save, tithe, and invest. So we make ourselves the last priority. And because I came here uneducated, without financial education, it's only through investing in myself that I learned a lot from my mentors. One mentor does not have all the answers. So we have a lot of mentors. I have a lot of mentors. And from reading the books of my mentors who are very wealthy, either multimillionaires, 500 million, half a billion, or to billionaires, they say the same principle, which is to pay ourselves first. So it's not about reducing expenses. It's about creating incomes. So what does Robert Kiyosaki have? What does Grant Cardone have? They have multiple drips of income. What do the other billionaires and wealthy have? They have multiple drips of income.
So, when you say, you know what? So when you say that you have to paying yourself first, right? Paying yourself first. A lot of people obviously think that why do we need to pay ourselves first? Because they don't have the money. So if they're paying themselves first, because the thinking is we need to pay our people, our staff, our employees, we need to pay them first, and then we pay ourselves last. So paying yourself first, like maybe pay a portion, what would you say, like pay 10% of your earnings. So if you want to pay yourself, you put away that 10%, right? That you're paying yourself first, put away 10%. Is it 10% or 40% you just put away?
It depends on several mentors, right? So if
I know Brad says, he says 40%.
That's right.
He says 40%.
Right. And you can pay yourself 40%, but you don't. And you do not have to forget, how do you pay yourself 40%? Is to create multiple drips of income. Then yes, you're able to pay yourself 40%. That's why our first priority is always income. Always create multiple drips of income. It's never about lowering down our expense. We have a base expense, that's it. But when we create lots of income, how far can we go? The sky is the limit.
Right. So you can even pay 10%. You can even pay a portion, that 10% of your earnings. You can just stash that away.
Yes, you are correct. Yes, in the beginning, yes, 10% is better than zero, because a lot of us we make saving, tithing, and investing a last priority. Now, if we make it the first priority, then we will say, oh, I don't have any money to buy a bigger home. Oh, I don't have any money to buy a brand new car. Oh, I cannot afford this expensive vacation. So I'm going to delay gratify myself. I do a lot of delayed gratification. I do not deprive myself of having, vacation here and there, but I cannot afford a European vacation like what Grant did. He had a yacht, 2 weeks vacation on some European
island. Yeah.
Right? I cannot do that. But I can afford to go around the USA. So I'm still taking vacation, but it's not a lavish, expensive vacation, although that's one of my bucket lists, right? So I'm delaying myself for those expensive vacations. Why? Because I prioritize making a lot of income, having assets that would create passive income for me, so that when I have a lot of those passive income, I can have those lavish vacation without me having to worry, how am I going to pay for this? What expenses do I need to reduce?
You need to have that peace of mind. Yeah, you know what? You need to have that peace of mind, because then, you don't want to be constantly saying, oh, well, how am I going to pay for this vacation if you decide to go on that luxury vacation? And say you had so many people with you And now you're thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for the vacation? I have everyone here with me. That is kind of embarrassing. So you don't want to put yourself in that embarrassing situation. So allow yourself the time to get into doing that.
Delayed gratification is the key. Delayed gratification, invest in yourself, invest, save, in tithe, and invest. I believe in tithing because I believe what you give, you will always receive tenfold. And if you have a bigger why, of helping a lot of people in your community and beyond your community, you know, to foreign countries, to foreign lands, you will get a bigger return.
Mm-hmm. And so why do people need to make a budget surplus an expense?
Why?
Why?
Because that's how we can create more income. So if you remember the income statement, we have income, which is from our job or from other if I'm a nurse, I can do double work, and that expense. So let's say, for example, I have properties, okay? That's an expense on my part on the income statement of my business. So my apartment, the mortgages, the rent, the mortgages, the taxes, the water, the sewer, the furniture that I use, they are an expense on my apartment. So what it does, if you have a business, you're not going to be taxed on the income. You're going to be taxed on the net operating income. Now, let's contrast that to a regular employee. I was once a full-time employee and a part-time employee working as a physician. So if I buy a furniture for my home, if I pay for my taxes for my home, if I pay for the mortgage, the principal and the interest for my home, those things I cannot write off. They are not tax deduct because why? I'm an employee. But if you're a business, those items you can get.
You can write them off. Yeah.
Home office. So now, if you're an employee, your income, you will be taxed on your income. You will not be taxed on your net operating income because those things, the home office deductions that the business owner can avail, you cannot avail of it. Your car, your principal and interest, your taxes, you cannot avail of those tax advantages, those loopholes, because you're an employee. However, if you're an employee and you have a side business, you have a side hustle, you have an apartment,
that's
then
different.
You can, those are tax deductible. The question is, can you tax write it off? Because even if you have a business, right, you have to meet certain criteria to fully get the tax write off of that property.
So what's the criteria that you got to meet?
Yes. So I will be doing a live webinar this October 7th, where I share my secret sauce of how I got those tax write off. So what I will share with you is that you have to make a certain amount of time, your hours. It's called real estate professional. When you're working as a physician or as an engineer or as a nurse, you have to meet certain criteria, certain hours, and you have a side business. If you're able to do those, you're making tons of money, then you can tax write it off. So that will take another 2 hours, a long time.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. We got it. You know what? That is, but this information, guys, it really is. We need to learn about this. We need to know it. And obviously, everything comes with time. The more you do it, the more you get to know about it, and the more you're going to get better at it. So that is so good. Ria, thank you. Really appreciate that. Well, guys, we have come to the end of another show, and we hope you've enjoyed. We've hoped that, it's great to always see you and be with you, that you can, share, learn, and grow in your lives, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You're here to learn and implement on knowledge. Knowledge on its own is power, but knowledge without the implementation, is not good. So you need to implement what you are learning, what we are sharing with you. So guys, we've come to the end of the show, but stay tuned and